In this video, I'm going to explain why focusing on watching the ball through to contact might actually be preventing you from improving your technique. Now, before you go crazy at me, I am a huge believer in the importance of watching the ball through to contact and how much it can help you improve consistency. I even teach players how to train their vision for a living. But with all that said, there's a time and a place for it. And in certain situations that apply to a lot of people, it can actually prevent you from developing your technique. And I'm going to explain why that is in this video. So hopefully it'll be helpful to you. If it is, it'd be awesome if you could give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, it's much appreciated if you could do that as well. So how is it possible that something that can be so important for consistency can actually be detrimental for your ability to improve your technique? What this comes down to is how much attention we've got and how we learn. The hard thing about tennis is strokes are complicated. There are multiple different things that have to happen in order for you to hit your shot well. And when you're trying to improve your technique, it's all about fixing the underlying problem. Tennis shots are sequences of events. You do a split step, you do a unit turn with some kind of pivot step, you then move to the ball as you're finalizing your preparation. It's only once you've done that that you can then start your swing, then you make contact, and it's as you're making contact that you'll be watching the ball through to contact in an ideal world. But there's a lot of stuff that happens before that. And if you're focusing on watching the ball through to contact when there are other things going wrong with your stroke before that, it means that you're diverting your attention away from what you need to focus on. Unfortunately, humans only have a limited capacity to do things well, to focus on a certain amount of information in one go. And if you focus on the wrong thing, it prevents you from working on what you actually need to work on. And for the vast majority of players that are trying to improve their technique by watching YouTube videos, the stuff that's going wrong is much earlier on in the stroke. So it's normally to do with preparing late and not setting up in the right position and not starting the swing at the right time. All these things come first. You have to fix that stuff first if you really want to develop and improve your technique. So yes, I'm a massive believer in watching the ball through to contact, and if you're the sort of person that doesn't really care about improving your technique, you just want to be more consistent now and you want to try and win more matches with what you've got at the moment, then yes, definitely one of the things that you want to focus on is watching the ball through to contact. If you're a higher level player that's already got everything sorted out, then yes, focus on watching the ball through to contact to add that extra layer of consistency. But if you have fundamental things going wrong with your strokes and your priority or your goal is to develop and improve your strokes and your technique, then you need to have all of your attention focusing on whatever is limiting you. Now, I've been relearning to play left-handed for the last few years. Unfortunately, I injured myself in a mountain bike crash, and for the first 2 years, all I was thinking about was the preparation and the spacing. It took me a while to get that. Once I'd got that, then I started to focus more on driving through my hip properly to have better timing. And now that I've kind of got all of those pieces in place, it's only after 3 years that I'm now starting to focus more on actually watching the ball through to contact, because now I've finally got the bandwidth to be able to do it. 2.5 years ago, if I'd have focused on watching the ball through to contact, I would have been stuck spinning my wheels. And I find this is what happens for a lot of players. They get annoyed at themselves for lifting their head and not watching the ball, and by putting so much attention on that one component, it prevents them from focusing on what they should be working on. So hopefully that makes sense. For you to improve your technique, you've got to fix the underlying problem. Now, if you would like help with that, I've created a masterclass that's going to teach you the approach that I've used to become a 4.5 player with my left hand. So it's going to break down the kind of the structure of the way that you can analyze your strokes and how to practice things, and then also talk about things that you can do to become more skillful, so then you can improve more consistently and hopefully become a higher level player. So I'll place a link to the class up there, and I'll place a link to the class down in the description so that you can go through that if you're interested. So hopefully what I've explained today makes sense. You've got to fix the underlying problem. if you want to improve your technique. You've got to work on it for long enough until it's fixed and then move to the next thing. And then eventually you'll get to watching the ball through to contact. And by adding on that as a final layer, it will really improve your level of consistency. Okay, I'll catch you next time.